right? Like I'm trying to stay away from him. I was like, even if I go to cheer him up, it's gonna look so bad on my end, right? I was, unless you know me well, you know, like, right? It just the fact that I have to worry about that pisses me off. Anyways, I was like, what? The boss is single? And he's like, yeah, Lisa, he's mingling in the provinces over there. And I was like, oh my fucking god. So I had that in the back of my mind, and I was like, there's no way. My boss isn't this scandalous, right? Like, I know he into some crazy shit, but like that can't be it, right? So then, Ian, I messaged you during this, but I don't remember. It was a couple days before then, right? I don't remember exactly when. The boss, we're like right. It's like right before everybody's about to leave, or like it's like 1, 2 o'clock ish. I don't remember when. It was in the afternoon, right? I was in the middle of filtering through all the fucking numbers and letters. I had headphones in. Next thing I know, the boss is right beside us, and he's like, "Emergency meeting right now." And I was like, "What? Is someone getting fired? Like, what the fuck is happening? What's so important that you gotta stop me in the middle of this shit and it might crash? You're gonna stop me in the middle of this, cause me anxiety for this thing almost crashing. Oh my god." Anyhow, he's like, "Guys, I'm not gonna," he said. Oh, hold on. Before we even get to that, I was messaging Ian this day and I was telling him, the boss said we have to book out all our vacation days, right? And I was like, fuck, I don't know when this man is coming. Now I have to guesstimate which day he's gonna come. And then I was like, boss, if you approve this date, you have to approve it later when I need you to change it because I don't know when he's coming. Right? So for sure I can book off and go see ATs and do like finish all my Christmas stuff, right? But then I was like, I don't know when Ian's coming. I don't know when Hyukjae's coming. I know Lay's coming, and I don't know if I'm gonna. Okay, Lay, if you're watching, I know I have to go there. Your spirit, your guardian's telling me I have to go. But the only reason I'm gonna go. This is the. Okay, I booked off that day, but I'm not gonna go unless you agree to let me go. Understood? I'll go, but you have to agree to let me go because it's the. I'm gonna do like one final energetic assessment before like, you know, we gotta go our separate ways now, okay? Lucky for you, you're not gonna feel as much pain as the last fool, but anyhow. I booked that day off. I don't know if I should go. Where do I go to buy tickets for that? But anyhow, yeah, that day the boss is like, book out all your vacation days, and I'm like, the only day that matters in my head is like Christmas, ATEEZ's concert, and Ian's concert, and then Hyukjae's concert because you guys, I know all of you are coming, and I was like, I don't know fucking when. I was like, boss, you gotta be out of your fucking mind, right? Anyways, now I know when Ian's coming. So like, boss already approved the date because I had to when I went to, the other day when I'll come back to that. Anyways, yeah, back to the emergency meeting shit, okay? Because I had to book off all my vacation days, and then he held this emergency meeting, right? I don't remember if it was a day or a couple days after, right? And I was like, what's so important that I'm like, I have to stop what I'm doing and all this shit's gonna crash, and when I gotta come back and like wake up this whole thing again, I'm gonna get fucking run late, right? And then he tells everybody in the room exactly what Yogi was telling me a couple days beforehand, right? He was saying how like he's gonna go and get engaged, right? And he said how he's gonna be gone for a year. He's gonna go province over to go do work, but he'll check in every Monday or so when we're here, right? He was saying how like because he's engaged, he said his friends helping him out and they're planning the proposal on a boat and all kinds of shit. I was like, is this work appropriate? Like he's talking about his personal life during work. I was like, man, I was in the, oh my god. Anyhow, right, so he's thinking about like starting a new job position, new family shit, all that kind of stuff, right? So like as I'm like during the meeting, my supervisor came to stand right beside me again, right? This crazy ass man came to stand right beside me again, okay? I'm bracing against my desk because like, right, I'm bracing against it, right? Because like I don't normally brace against things unless I'm hella tired, right? So like I can't I would have pulled up my chair and sat in front of like had us we can't have a nice sit down meeting, nah. But anyhow, I'm leaning against my desk. Supervisor came to lean right beside me. I was like, man, you could have. It's okay if you stand beside me, but don't fucking lean on my desk too. He comes to lean on my desk, and I can feel every time his energy shakes. And I was like, man, stop fucking waking me up. Like, remember how I told you guys like I can feel his energy when he's far away, but not when he's right next to me. So the fact that he's right next to me and shaking my fucking desk, I was like, I know you're there, motherfucker. Calm the fuck down. More that like that's like I didn't understand why I kept feeling that, but I understand now, right? Because I told you guys when I feel shaking, it's somebody usually has anxiety, but he's like the way he's like the I don't know how to explain it. The what I'm sensing isn't that, right? Anyways, he's standing beside me. I'm like, as I'm hearing this information in front of my face, I was like, boss, no, please don't leave me for a year with this fucking man. Please, please, for the love of God, don't do that. Right? Because when I'm irritated with one, I go to the other. When I'm irritated with the other, like, but I'm like, if you're not there, who am I supposed to go to when he's fucking bothering? Boss, why? No, why? Like, I'm having like a midlife crisis there as he's trying to piece together his life. I was like, oh my fucking God, why? Why, boss? Why? Why would you do this to me? Maybe book off all my vacation days and you're telling me you're gonna leave me with this man? What? And my computer, I was, oh my God. So now the gears start going off in my head. I was like, nobody's gonna be using his office. And I was like, oh, an opportunity just came across here now. I was like, maybe I could ask him. I told you guys I get along with Yogi's supervisor, but like she's always in her office. And if he's not in his, I was like, maybe I could, when I'm on my break, there's so many things I could do while I'm on my break. But I was like, maybe on my break, I could use his office as a practice room, right? If I asked nicely, right? But I don't know if his door is always open or if he'll have to give me the keys, right? Which is also gonna look bad because, anyhow, I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna ask him that, because then that means I can start taking Basket with me. I know the first person he's gonna meet is gonna be Fabulous when I go, because I can already see like him interacting with her. I feel like if I leave him there, she'll take good care of him, right? I can finally start taking him there with me. But anyhow, yeah, I was like, oh, now I can maybe I could use his office as a practice room. You know what I found so disheartening the other day? I found out like my music teacher that I was gonna go to, she died of cancer last year, and it's gonna be next month's gonna be a full year since then, and I didn't find out till like a couple days ago, and I was like, oh my fucking God. I was like, that's why she hasn't been responding to my emails. Now I have to go back and see what's the last email I sent her, and I was like, oh my, now I feel sick to my stomach because I never got a chance to actually meet her. She recommended me a new teacher before she you know, before she passed. But like I don't feel comfortable with this guy, right? Because I want to tell her she died at the age of 28 from cancer. I'm so like my heart like is in like here, right? Like, oh my God. But anyhow, yeah, so like I'm thinking about asking boss if I can use his office as a practice room, right? But I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's not soundproof. And then everyone's gonna look at me outside and be like, Lisa, why are you in the boss's office and why are you soundproofing it, right? Like, I'm gonna get so, like, oh my fucking God. I'm trying to make use of the time because by the time I come back here, you guys will see, right? Because I don't think I'll be on the, I started the new channel, but I haven't uploaded anything on it. You guys will see because I'll be on there more frequently and you'll understand. You're not gonna understand now because it's taken me this long, right? I'm getting there. Anyways, yeah, I have to figure out how I'm gonna ask him if I can borrow his office. Maybe I'll wait one of those Mondays and ask, but I don't know. I'll be like, boss, it's really, really important. Please, do me a solid. I swear to God. Because, like, when I had him change the date, because I was like, yo, boss, I need you to change this date to make sure I'm off on October 2nd. Do me this favor. And he's like, okay, Lisa, but you have to do me a favor later. Like a fucking mob boss. We're having this conversation. It's like, I've done you this favor. I expect the same in return later. Like, oh my fucking god. Yeah, and then the meeting was over, and I was like, everything Yogi said was true. And then I was like, okay, now I gotta get used to my supervisor's energy now, right? Because I know for sure I'm gonna be there for at least 2 years. I don't know if I need longer than that, but just to like make sure I can get the fuck out of here, it's gonna take me 2 years. Anyhow, now that I know he said he's gonna, the boss said he's gonna be gone. He's leaving, like, he said he's not gonna leave till I get my new computer. I told Ian this, but like when I wasn't looking, because I told Yogi this too, because I was like, Yogi, I got a new, I was I was at my desk using my old shit. Then I left and came back, and I was like, it poofed, and there's like a new magical, where this new brand new magical thing come from, right? And he said the boss always does that. He said he waits for you to leave, snoop around the place, and then like does something like that, right? Like he got rid of my old keyboard was so fucking annoying. I told him I want, because I have my eye on this wireless, this new one. I'm like, I want it in my lap so I can go like this, because right now like my hands really fucking hurt being in this position, right? Anyways, so he put a new keyboard there for me, and it's so much softer and nicer. But he promised, he said before he leaves, he said he'll be leaving in like, I don't remember if he said August or September, that he'll swap out my computer, so I got a faster one. But I'm not complaining, because all the old people in the office, you know, they're not used to using computers, and they're like, the computer's so fucking annoying. And I was like, it's not the computer, it's the software. And then on top of that, if you're not storing things correctly, of course it's gonna be the computer. This computer can't process half the files on your fucking desktop. It was, oh my god. Yeah, so I don't care if he gets me a new one or not, because I told him it's already functioning as I would assume it would, right? So he swapped out my keyboard, but before he leaves, he'll swap out my computer. Yeah, so now in my head, I'm thinking about, because it was like now we're like, I haven't gotten the chance to play ping pong with him yet. He told me he takes lunch around 1:30 to 2 o'clock, right? I was telling you, when I walked past my coworkers, when I was going on a break and his door was open in the office, he was telling me that. He was like, oh yeah, I take lunch from here to here, and we're talking about like why I take it so early and all, and he's like, right? But I was like, I'm gonna feel so like, I know I gotta like eat lunch with him, but I don't know when, and it's causing me anxiety, because on my end, right, like I'm worried about like the energy I'm gonna intake, because his energy is so bad. That day when I went to go talk to him, I was like, because he never talks to me, right? He'll talk to the guys like nonstop, and it irritates them, but for me, he won't talk to me, right? Especially because he knows when I'm busy. I was like, boss, that's a great conversation, but I gotta work. But like now I'm on break, and I was like, he's not talking to me. So like I'm trying to like talk to him, but he's not talking back, right? Right? So like I asked him about the wedding. I was like, how's the wedding plans going? And all that stuff, right? And then he just told me, I feel stressed. And then I walked out of his office. I was like, okay, he just killed the conversation. I'll leave you be then. And then like I know I gotta have lunch with him, and I know we gotta play. I need to like beat his ass in a game of ping pong. Yeah. So the conversation died. And then that day I was going for my no, and then like I don't remember when I was with Yogi, and it was a hot day, right? Like it was cold like most days, but one of those days it was really hot, and I was like, Yogi, like, can we? Because Yogi knows me really well, right? Because he knows I don't drink tea or coffee. He's like, Lisa, let's go get drinks, right? So he drives me during break one time to go get mango drinks, right? And I was like, I need to, for some reason, I don't know why, like I asked the old guy in the office if he wanted one before I left, and he said yeah. So I was in my head, I was like, okay, if I get one for the old guy, he's like in his 70s, right? But he doesn't look like he's in his 70s. Like how I'm in my 20, like almost 30s, and I don't look like it, right? So, anyhow, he's like, "Oh, Lisa, if you're gonna go get a drink, get me a drink too." And I was like, "Okay, old man. As long as you're good to me, I'll serve you however you want, right?" So like now me and Yogi are there at this place, and I was like, I feel weird getting one for my coworker and not getting any for like my supervisor or my boss. So then I end up, and then I was like, Yogi, I'm paying. Like, I'll buy one for you too, right? Like, fuck it. What? We're all drinking the same things today. So we get all the drinks, right? Oh yeah, that day Yogi took me. We went on a detour. He took me to the drink place, and then we went to this park. It's so nice there. He also took me to the cricket field. Anyways, yeah, it was. Yeah, we end up getting the drinks now, right? And head back to the office. Every time we go to McDonald's, I know Michelle wants ice cream, but every time I go to order ice cream, they're fucking never. It's always out, so I can never bring anything back for Michelle. But anyways, Yogi's looking at me like, Lisa, are you crazy? You're gonna spend money on your boss and your supervisor? He's like, these people aren't gonna do nothing for you, and I was like, I don't care. It's the right thing to do, right? Like just to fix their energy a little bit, I'm gonna help them out, right? Do little things here and there, like whatever I can, right? Get back to the office, give one to the old guy. He pays me for it. I wasn't expecting him to. I was like, oh, you don't have to. I was like, it's on me. And he's like, no, here, take the money. Thank God he did, because that helped me later when I was going to the convention. I needed that, like that change he gave me. I ended up using. Um. Anyhow, yeah, I bought a drink for the boss and for my supervisor. According to him, I like too many sugary things. I was so pissed. I was like, God damn. Anyhow, my boss had a drink. He drank the same thing I drank, so I gave him a mango one. And then when I had fries, I gave him fries. And then I had Timbits the other day, and it was like, he wants some. He said no. They don't take any of the sugary stuff from me, but they'll take anything else. I don't remember. I don't think I got to give him popcorn. I didn't get to give Yogi, for sure. I didn't get to give Yogi because I was like, your ass wasn't here. I know you was working, but I don't have, like, everybody Hungry Belly took the took their share and done. Speaking of which, one of the women in the office that sits across from Snack, um, she's like, Lisa, come here, come have these goldfish, right? Me not knowing, like in my head, I was like, goldfish are like cheese flavored, right? I was like, okay, it's this bland ass tasting thing. I told her I like the sweet ones, the dessert tasting ones, and she's like, okay. And then she gave me what she had. So in my head, I was like, oh, it's just gonna be these bland cheese ones, not knowing that when I eat them, I was like, oh my god, it's a fucking, because she loves spice. I totally forgot she loves spice. So I was like, it's freaking hot sauce, goldfish, and I'm eating this. I was like, my fucking mouth's on fire. I was like, bitch, what did you just do to me? So then she started noticing that I stopped eating everything she offered me. Right? And then she's like, here's a sweet goldfish. And I was like, oh, thank God. I started eating those. Then when I come back, and I was like, who ate all the sweet stuff and left the spicy shit here again? Ugh. She had strawberry shortcake flavored ones, and oh my god, they were so good. It was like eating cake. But anyhow, where was I in the story? Oh yeah, we're talking about boss now, right? Oh, I'm getting so sidetracked. Yeah, now I'm worried about like eating lunch with him now, right? Because I was like, when am I gonna get time to eat with him? Because I was like, his energy's already bad. It's gonna like flavor the food wrong, and then I don't know what I should eat that day, and then I don't know. Like, I'm worried about like I don't. He's okay. So like one of the other days, I don't remember. Like everything's out of order, but like I was like, he hired. So he always calls me new girl, right? The boss. Because I always call him boss, right? Because I don't know if he noticed, but like he probably noticed by now, right? I always call him boss because I know he's got two first names, and he never goes by his first name, right? And I never knew why. He always goes by like his like mob boss name, right? That's what I like calling it. He goes by that name, so I always call him boss. And because I never call him by his name, he always calls me new girl, right? So like we have that understanding, which is what I really like, because when I like when I have like certain connections with people that way, right? So now he hired this new girl now, right? So now I'm no longer the new one in the office. So now he doesn't call me by my nickname anymore, and he doesn't call me by my nickname anymore, right? So now I asked him, I was like, how come you don't go by your first name? I was like, where did this come from? And then he's explaining it to me. I was like, oh, because I sent it through email, because I was like, he's not talking back to me. I sent it through email, right? And then I get the answer I'm looking for, and I was like, okay. Like, I know his energy's... He's not a bad guy, even though his energy's fucking toxic as fuck. Because I remember asking him about the wedding stuff. He's like, oh, I'm stressed, right? I was like, okay, conversation time. Anyways, so like after he answers that question for me, the next day or so, because I know he's hiring another person in the office, right? And according to Aaron, he's like, oh my god, she's short as fuck. Aaron's telling me all this shit, right? And I was like, okay. So now that there's gonna be another person in the office now, right? He's gotta swap out all, like, he got a new shipment of computers. Mine's gonna come last because, like, I'm not complaining and I wasn't there for that long, right? So I was like, okay, take your time with me. I don't really give a fuck. So the new shipment of computers come in. I'm like done things early because she's training and she's taking over some of the things I'm doing. So like I'm like done for the day already. And I learned a few new things, but I don't want to like overload my mind with stuff. And I was like, you know what? Like I kind of got some time now, so maybe I'm gonna go spend some time with him because I know he's not gonna be here, right? He's not gonna be here next year, or like the rest of the year up until next year, right? So he's in his office, I guess, sorting out the computers. I go to bother him because like that's out of character for me, for him, right? Because he knows like I just come in, work, leave, right? So he's already looking at me weird. He's like, yo, Lisa, what do you want? Are you bored? And I was like, nah, I'm like, you hired a new person, so I have time to come bother you now. I'm not bored. I got shit done. I have nothing to do. I've come to bother you. That's why I'm here. And then he's looking at me like, bitch, leave. And I'm looking at him like, I'm not fucking moving from here. I'm not leaving, right? And then he's like, okay, come help me with this shit then. He's like, you ever hook up any of these wires? I'm like, I'm used to wireless shit. You want me to touch a whole bunch of wires? So we go and set up computers because everybody's moving. I hope he doesn't move around my desk because at first when I got there I was like, I fucking hate where it is, but I've gotten so used to it now that I don't want him to move me because he's musical chairing everybody around the office, and I was like, you better not fucking move me. I'm in a good spot right now. Don't you fucking dare. Yeah, so I'm helping him with computer stuff, and I finally get a chance to talk with him, right? But then Michelle cut me in between there. I was like, damn it, Michelle, this isn't the time for me to talk to you. I need to talk to this man. I got to talk to her, and I got to talk to one of the other ladies for a bit. I don't remember what we were talking about. I just remember she stopped me midway through. I was like, Michelle, I'm finally making progress. Like, stop. So now he started getting comfortable enough to talk with me. So that day when I went on my break, he started talking to me about like lunch and things, right? Like he's starting to give me like, right? Like it took a couple encounters and now like he's finally comfortable enough talking to me now, right? Cause I was like, that's no fair. How come you're so close with Yogi and not with me? Like I'm kind of fucking I don't know if that's how Yogi feels when I'm talking to his supervisor, right? Because I'm close with her and he's looking at me like, bitch, why? This video is gonna be really fucking long. I'm so sorry, but you guys, oh my god, get some sleep, okay? Pace yourselves when you guys watch this. It's not important, okay? Yeah, so now I'm worried about like if I go to eat with them, what kind of conversations we're gonna have when I'm talking with him, right? Because I don't know what we're gonna talk about. Especially because my break's an hour long. I don't know if I'm spending the whole hour with him or like the second, like I don't know how it's gonna work, so I'm like panicking in my head. So like this is something I would need to read for, right? It was just like I to make sure nothing goes fucking wrong. Cause I don't like I already know all his personal business and all this shit now, but for me to like suddenly bring it up is gonna be really difficult for me on my end, right? Because to them it's gonna look like I want something, but I don't, right? I'm just curious, okay? I just want to understand things a little bit better. Right? Because I know, like I told you, I read him what 2 days ago. I know I can't help him, but maybe I know somebody who can, right? So in that kind of way, I'm indirectly helping. I'm trying my best because he did me a solid by allowing me to be in that space, right? Because now my energy is healing a lot in that space. Even though I'm not supposed to be there in the first place, but anyhow, yeah. As of right now, I'm trying to figure out how to have more longer conversations with the boss, but making sure I don't have a conversation where like it's uncomfortable for me. Um, because now I know which is his car and everything, man. Oh my god. Um, because I low key want to bring up, I'm like, boss, why the hell were you parking next to us all this time? Like, there's certain things I want to ask him that I can't straight up ask him because he's gonna be like, Lisa, how the hell do you know that? Fuck. Yeah, I only got a couple. What was it? June now, July, August. I have about 2 to 3 months left with him. So like, I want to spend whatever time I got with him before I'm like left in the care of my fucking supervisor. Oh my good god. I gotta make sure I don't bring up any of the psychic stuff because I know if boss knows that, I'm for sure like out of there, right? Because they don't believe or like want any. They don't encourage that shit there, right? So um. Anyhow, that's what's going on with my boss. I'm trying to figure out how I can like have a conversation with him without it looking like I'm like I need something from him, right? I'm just wishing the man well because he took me in when I was at like my worst and put me in a good position. Now I'm around people where it's like they're helping me move up a little bit, you know what I mean? Anyways, like I'm worried about how I'm gonna like if I go to have lunch with him, how I'm gonna eat around him, right? Because he's gonna look at me and be like, Lisa, you're not eating properly, and I was like, I can't. You people are the fucking problem. Fuck. Okay, speaking about the car thing, so like, um, I talked about Justin already, right? So like he carpools with one of the other guys when he comes to work, but sometimes his wife gives him the car, right? And their car, it's his car, but he lets his wife use it all the time. But when she's not using it, he takes back his car, right? His car is so similar to ours that one day he decided to fuck with us and he parked right next to us in the parking lot. And I was like, Trev, why isn't the car opening? And he's like, that's not our car, you dumb bitch. It's next to him. Justin's behind me laughing no ass. He's like, Lisa, you didn't know? I was like, no, what the hell? Why would you do this to me? Like how like Yogi parked in between me, Trev, and Fabulous that day. I was like, why? Why would you guys do this? It's fucking hilarious. um, you know what else I like about the boss too? I told him the only reason they'll sell me to even be in this space in the first place is if the energy of the people are good, right? I told him if it's a good work culture environment, and then I told him I'll happily like occupy the space there. If not, I'm out of there, right? And he said, "Oh, this is a really good space, I promise." And I was like, he didn't lie to me, so that's great. I told all of them that too when I came that day because they're looking at me like, Lisa, what the hell are you doing here? Right? Because they're looking at me like I have so much potential, which I really fucking hate. Right? Because if you know like my struggles, you know, right? They're looking at me like I'm fucking picture perfect, pure, all that shit. They're not understanding all of the amount of fucking trauma, struggles, all the shit I have to go through to get to where I am now, right? Um, anyhow, Let's talk about my supervisor now. I feel like I talk too much about him. I have so many fucking complaints. That looks kind of scary to look at in the background. I should move that, right? And this suddenly starts moving. That's gonna be so creepy. Anyhow. Sorry, that like I'm distracted now. Like, what the hell? I didn't realize how dark it got. Anyways, yeah, so I told you guys already, like, I bought my supervisor a drink too, right? He looked at me so confused. He's like, Lisa, what is this? What? And I was like, so he wouldn't refuse, left it on his desk, and ran. I was like, that's yours, bye. I didn't give him time to refuse, right? Like, I gave the boss an option, but he's like, oh, Lisa, you took the time, you cared enough to get, yeah, I was like, yeah, take it, done. But with this man, I was just like, I know he's so like, I don't know how to explain it. Like how I asked with the nail polish, right? Like I know he gives me like those weird ass answers, right? Anyways. Yes, okay. So I was telling you guys how his energy now, right? Okay. Okay, so I was like, I went into his office because Snack told me he really likes barbecuing, right? And we have like, we can take like one day in the month, a few people gotta volunteer and go participate in the barbecue, right? So the first one I watched, the second one I was with Snack and Yogi, and then the third one was coming up now, right? And the third one was the Thursday. It was right. Today's Sunday. It was like a couple days ago. So I told him a couple days before it happened. I went into his office and I was like, Snack told me you're really good at like I'm trying to like have a conversation with him because I know they need me to talk, right? Because like the energy's so heavy unless I'm like talking to them, right? I don't think they feel comfortable with me. So I go to strike up a conversation with him and I was like, if no one volunteers, you want to volunteer with me? And he said okay, because I was telling him, I was like, if you're gonna go, take me with you. He said okay. And then day of the barbecue, or like they had to confirm. I don't know if it was the day of or the day before. He's like, you still down? And I was like, yes. And he said okay. So it's like for sure me and him are gonna be there, but then I don't know who the third person is. Then I found out it was Fabulous. It was me, him, and Fabulous. I was like, okay. Oh, even before then. Okay, before I even asked him about that, right? Because now I'm gonna have to like for an hour it's gonna be